Structured jigsaws are a way to basically allow your students to learn a specific topic in your coursework on their own, or it could be a way in which you can also assess what they know as well. The way that a structured jigsaw works is as follows, is where you basically divide the class up and give them each a task to complete or a topic to cover. And then within that topic or within that subject matter that they have to look at, there's a series of smaller subtopics and tasks that they have to complete. And the idea is that when all is said and done, each of them, in essence, just like a jigsaw, figures out their puzzle, gets everything situated and set. And what the idea behind this activity is you basically bring all the pieces together to form one picture. That is why, regardless of whatever subject area you are in, jigsaws typically work when you have multiple different topics within one given area of focus. So, for example, here, what I'm going to show you now is what the two different types of structured jigsaws look like. In a sense, structured jigsaws could be used as both an introduction and an assessment. And I'm going to show you how that looks for both instances. So in the first here, what you see is action assignment I gave the other day while we were still in all remote learning. What you see here is basically a research project where what ended up happening, we're basically looking at modern day issues that impact the continent of Africa. What I ended up doing is when I began the class, I knew there were 7 different issues I wanted there to be covered. So what I did was I created 7 different groups in my Zoom meeting, and I made 7 different breakout rooms. And what ended up happening was each breakout room basically had a specific topic to cover. And within that breakout room and within that topic, they also had to do the following tasks as well. The idea behind all of this was as follows. Each of them would conduct a research, each of them would provide all the information, and then eventually, when we eventually had the next class, as I gave the students one class period to research their one topic, answer all of these questions, present all of this information in a PowerPoint presentation. And then what ended up happening was when we brought it all back together, each of the 7 groups had about 5 to 6 minutes to present their findings, to basically inform their peers on the information that they researched. And basically what ended up happening is at the end of the entire class, what ended up happening was it all came together and we basically were able to create a picture for ourselves where we saw what was going on within the continent of Africa. So notice here that this was a lesson to introduce material that the students were able to conduct on their own, and it doesn't even have to be that complex. It could be something as simple as here is a breakdown of what I'm looking for and a task that I need you to complete within this framework that I just provided for you. And in this way, the students are in essence teaching themselves about this material. So this is a really easy way to introduce information and get your students to learn about a topic that has multiple different layers to it or multiple different perspectives to it. And like I said, this could be something that could be used across the board in every single subject area where, let's say, for example, there's a theorem that has multiple different perspectives to it, or there's different ways of applying it. You can assign each group with the task of learning about it and then reporting back to their peers, all within the still same framework of it being hybrid. As even when we go hybrid, you could be able to do so where you have your students working at home or the students working here, breaking out into their, going into their breakout rooms and basically doing what they need to do and bringing it all back together. Similarly, you can also do the same as an assessment. Now, what you end up seeing here is an assessment that I created for another unit that I teach on imperialism in Asia. So what the goal and objective here is as follows. What I'm basically asking the students here to do is to create an actual lesson where they look at one of these different perspectives of the topic, where they basically focus in on providing the story of each of these different aspects of Asian imperialism. And what this does is once we see each of these different perspectives, we create the picture of imperialism in Asia. So what ended up happening was, I told the students that they had to create a PowerPoint slide information to present the information. They had to create a vehicle. They had to create a worksheet where basically when they were in their small individualized classrooms, they could teach their peers, and their peers could also take notes. So this way they walk away from the lesson and have the resource they need to learn from. And in addition, to kind of take it to that next level, to have it be an application, the students also had to create some type of a mini assessment or mini activity to see how well their peers learn the material. Or in essence, a way for them to be able to apply what they just learned from their peers as well. So as you can see here, because this is an assessment, it's a little bit more detailed because I had much more expectations. But once again, you structure everything out, you show exactly what you want them to do, and the hope is that even if they have to do this by themselves, whether it's synchronous or asynchronous, or whether we're in a hybrid session, it really doesn't make a difference, because at the end of the day, everything is structured, everything is laid out for the students, and they know exactly what's expected of them. And basically, you create, in essence, you create a sense of accountability, because their peers are relying on them to basically garner this information as well. In addition, as always, especially when you're doing an assessment within this type of a setting, what you also want to focus in on, making sure you have clear expectations as well. And what I've done in years past is after the first year that I did this, I basically took a model from prior years to show my students as well, to be like, this is exactly what we're looking for here. So this is basically how the jigsaw works. And in essence, what ends up happening is, once again, it's structured, it's independent, it's collaborative, you're creating accountability, and it's something that you can do asynchronously, because this is basically you saying to them, hey, you know what? Here's what I expect of you. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. Here's everything you need to get squared away and set. And this is basically a method in which you can create a lesson that they're completely working on their own. Hope this helps, and enjoy.